All right, so like we were talking on the driving range, the priority list of what's affected by wiggle or face angle, right, would be number one would be putter, number two would be driver, right? So if we are working on precision, that's what we're focused on, is what's happening really in underneath that left thumb, and what's going to happen to the face, right? So as we go, we just worked on full swing. There's this feeling, right? And then there's also this feeling. So this is load, and then consequently unload. In putting, we're not loading and unloading anything, all right? So what we want to do is put our hands on the putter in such a way that we have the most control over, or the most feeling of what that face is. So hold the putter up here to me, all right? Now take your right hand off. Okay, now when you hold it in your left hand, don't put it under the heel pad. This is the heel pad.
Okay.
I'm going to call this the thumb pad. The heel pad is for load and unload, for power.
Okay.
All right? The thumb pad is more for precision. Right? So what I want you to do is hang the putter like this between the thumb and finger of the left hand. Now right there you can go wiggle, wiggle. Right? That's easy to kind of sense any movement.
Yeah.
Right? Now just between the thumb and finger, swing the putter back and forth without twisting, right? So here is going back and forth. You know right away if there would be any wiggling, right? Okay, so now hold the putter up here to me again, but hold it under the thumb pad, which means these fingers are going to release. You're not going to use really those at all. It's just going to be hanging hinged underneath this fat part of your thumb and then on the thumb itself, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now take it with, you can grip to the end of the putter, but drop it, drop it there, right? So now bring it up to me. Feel right here, see how your forearms are having to hold the putter in the air?
Yeah.
Do what I call full droop. So let the putter droop so that there's no pressure in your wrist. Now raise the putter up in the air with your elbows. Yeah, your bicep muscle right here just lifted this whole weight up in the air, but your wrist did not, right? So that's how I want you to set up to putt. So when you set the putter on the ground, hold it up in the air like this, go full droop underneath that thumb, and then just bend over so that the putter hangs, right? So the way you were putting before was you had a heel pad on top and you had a lot of wrist hinge. Now, do your other grip, your old grip. Now swing back here and stop. Now right here, these muscles are firing.
Mm-hmm.
They're holding that putter up. Go like this and droop them down. That's relaxed.
Yeah.
So you've been putting not relaxed. So again, you go back to what we're talking about on the range. The whole purpose of this is under pressure, what are you going to do? So you're standing up over a putt and you tell yourself, okay, relax. So I'll show you what happens. So you set the putter on the ground underneath the heel pad. This muscle's firing because it's hinging. You set it behind the ball. You take it back to here. Both of these muscles in your forearms are firing. Your brain says relax, so it does that. So your stroke does this, this, and then it comes through. Right? But if you're fully relaxed, fully hanging the putter, and you tell yourself relax, well, you're already relaxed.
Yeah.
There's no tension there, right? So the lie angle of your putter, you've typically picked putters probably that are flatter in lie angle because your heel pad it's felt more comfortable to grip it like this.
Yeah.
And then when you're here, you're kind of like guiding it back and forth, right? And what I want you to do is try to get as close to vertical as you can so that you can swing it back and forth. So try to hang the putter in your wrist. So lift it up and let it droop. Full droop. Relax, relax, relax. That's full droop. Yep, and then swing it back and forth. There you go. All right. So the goal is to get out of the way of a swinging putter, not manhandle the putter. Right? So under pressure, what you're trying to do is tell yourself certain things like, okay, just relax, like feel the weight of the putter, swing, not like I'm going to guide this in the hole, right? So make it go full droop, just hanging in the wrist, and then swing it back and forth. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my putter that's more upright so you can feel the difference between them. Right, so set up and swing this one a couple of times. Right, it's going to be shorter, heavier, more upright. Right, so really hang your arms and then just kind of feel like a pendulum swinging back and forth. Super loose grip. There you go. So what you want to feel, so centrifugal force, gravity. So this is called a plumb bob, right? Well, it's a building, it's an engineering technique. So when you're trying to build something, build a brick wall, build whatever, use gravity to tell you where vertical is, so that when you build your brick wall, you're not building it off the side of a hill this way, right? So you use a metal weight on the end of a string, and you hang the string, and it tells you, oh, I need to follow that direction if I'm going to build this wall correctly, right? So when you're using gravity correctly and you're swinging the putter back and forth, it's going to produce a nice like pendulum type stroke. Well, that's you getting out of the way of a pendulum versus you trying to like control the face. So just do a few more with that one and just see what it feels like. Really try to hang it in your hands without really holding very tight. And just see what it feels like. Yep, so raise the putter up in the air and just kind of hover it. Just let it hang right here. Yeah, and when it's barely touching the ground, then you kind of swing it back and forth. Are you starting to kind of feel the difference between like manhandling a putter
Letting the putter do the work.
versus letting the putter swing?
Yeah.
All right, so don't feel like you have to swing the putter a certain direction. Like that one there, you missed left. All right, you missed left. You just swung it. Well, then instead of changing your aim to the right, you just swung it more out. So go ahead and switch your alignment and let it swing. There you go. Right? So all you want to do is change. Like, so this is your swinger, right? The pendulum, it just swings. Well, if you want it to go this direction, you have to move everything around so that it swings over here. If you want it to go this direction, then move everything around. So don't change the path of the swing, just change your alignment. So now this putter isn't the perfect fit for you, but it's just different. It's probably pushing you further toward the pendulum stroke than anything, because it's a it's a little too short and it's a lot heavier than you're used to. But it's a good way for you to feel like, oh, okay, I can just kind of swing this thing. I don't have to work hard to get it online. You want it to go online because it's not going offline, right?
Yeah.
There's no point in, like, if you built a really bad pendulum,
Yeah.
somehow it would move around, but you can't build a bad pendulum because it's gravity that's kind of creating the design of that pendulum. All you can do as a golfer is kind of get in the way of the pendulum.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go with this putter now and see if you can find something similar with yours. Now that you've felt it, see if you can find something that's similar. So you notice how right away your path, the putter made a little loop?
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that at all,
Uh,
but right away, go ahead and set it down. Right away it went out and then came in. So that means you're doing too much of this. So do more of this, and then it won't loop out, even if it doesn't sit flat. Like, I'd rather it sit like Steve Stricker and just sit on the toe. Yeah, and then swing it back and forth. Yeah, so really try to let the putter hang. Don't hover it in the air and hang it. Hover it and hang it. Hover it and hang it. And what you're going to find is the more you hover, hang, the more it's going to end up like in here.
yeah.
And then just keep gripping down until it kind of feels okay. There you go. And then swing it back and forth. See, that was a much nicer balance. All right, so it's tracking a little bit truer, right? So do this one again. And see how kind of that fat round grip,
Yeah.
you just kind of hang it in your fingers. You're not fighting with, like whether it's straight or not. And because it's shorter and heavier, you're able to just kind of swing it back and forth, and there really isn't any there's no change in direction. You're not trying to control it in any way. There you go. So if it's not going in the hole, change your alignment of your feet. If it is going in the hole, just keep doing that same thing over and over again. All right, so now go back to this one again. And don't let the putter force you to stand a certain way. Like make your putter do what you were doing with this one.
Okay.
Yeah, make it hang. Yeah, perfect. Hang it in the wrist. Swing it back and forth. Don't guide it. All right, so which one feels easier to do, this hanging, swinging? Yeah, it does, right? So it's heavier, shorter, more upright. It's designed to do this easier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so try this one again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build you one of these putters. Hey, back in business. Okay. All right. All right. All right, so if you miss, then you either aimed the pendulum
Wrong.
the wrong way, or you didn't just trust it and let it swing. You somehow like guided it, or
Yeah.
pushed it or pulled it. But if you're actually just swinging it back and forth, the only thing you're responsible for then is figuring out how hard to swing it.
Yeah.
You're not really trying to figure out how to keep it from opening and closing, because it just doesn't change. It just stays there. Right, so this putter's a little short for you, but other than that, there's a lot of good things that it's doing in your setup and your stroke. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You probably feel more confident already just after using this, hanging it,
Yeah.
than feeling what yours feels like. So we can make adjustments to yours, and then we can also make one of these that's kind of a similar setup as far as length. But the first thing we got to do is adjust yours probably to let it swing better. Right, so make sure it's hanging in the wrist. If you're not, so go back and stop. All right, see how tight you're kind of holding here.
Yeah.
Right, if you relax everything, it's going to kind of droop to the inside. But that's just because that's how the putter is kind of setting you up. It's setting you up to see how that one actually had a really nice little inside path. That's because when you took it back, the weight of the putter should swing just barely to the inside.
Mm-hmm.
If you're taking it back straight or outside, it's because these muscles are kind of lifting it up,
Yeah.
and hinging it out. That last one was much better. Mm-hmm. So you see also kind of as you're setting up, your body's starting to relax.
Yeah.
Everything is that's what I want you to feel like up here in your upper back. Just really like slouch your shoulders,
Mm-hmm.
relax. Right, so let's do one for video. Let me hop in here and hit this. Right, so when you come in, if your purpose is to get out of the way of a swinging putter, then you've got to kind of set your body up in such a way that when you kind of come in, you're bending here, your back is bending like this. You're not trying to It shouldn't be anything rigid. Like, you shouldn't be trying to control the putter. The putter, it's almost like the putter is doing this, and then you just bring it over, right? And then you just kind of lower it into position, and then you let it go.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you want to feel like. So when you're in here, everything is super relaxed. The putter's here. You're able to pick it up and put it down with your elbows,
Yeah.
not with your wrist. And when you're picking it up and putting it down, then you pull it back, let it go. Pull it back, let it go. Right? So let's do this. Let's let me ask you a question. What do you think? This is different, right?
Yeah.
You've probably never putted like this before.
No, I like it. I don't know if I want to adjust this one just because my dad just barely got it for me as a gift.
Right.
And so maybe we just
Yeah.
do one of those instead of making an adjustment to this one.
Yeah.
And then for now, I just kind of put it with it on the toe.
Yeah. So I know that your dad didn't buy you the gift to keep it a gift.
Yeah.
He bought it for you so you would putt better.
Yeah.
So you can text him if you want and just say, hey, Craig wants to adjust the lie angle. Because all we're going to do is take this shaft and bend it.
Okay. Well, here's another idea. So I have this exact putter in my truck, just not in the circle tee.
Oh, okay.
And so maybe I could go
Sure.
grab that one.
Go
and
grab
adjust
that one. Let's make that one the experiment.
And then we can mess with that one too.
We'll measure this one too.
They're both 34.
34, and
the
then
exact same.
we'll measure the lie angle and just kind of see
All right.
where we're at with the lie angle. And then I don't think 34 is going to be wrong for
Yeah.
you. I think the length is probably going to be
I
okay.
like it. It's
But the
easy to
angle,
cut all of them to 34s.
yeah, the angle is going to be what's off. So no, good idea. Let's go grab the one out of the truck. Let's mess with that one. That'll be the guinea pig putter.
Alright.
And then once we've decided on exactly where we need to be, then we can adjust that one